A lot of you guys are going to be so mad about what I have to say, but too bad. Here's why I think black men that say they don't date black women are the weakest link.
Okay.
And the reason that I think that white men and black women are a power couple. I know a lot of you guys don't care about slavery and don't think it has any effect now, but let's take it back 400 years. 400 years ago, black men were constantly stripped from their families, which left black women to take both the mother and the father role. This continued for generations, even to this day, with the mass incarceration of black men. This causes black women in our society to be viewed as undesirable and too masculine. Black men who won't date black women feel that their masculinity is being tested because society views black women as so masculine. But white men are seen as the most powerful and masculine in our society. So a white man is not going to be threatened by even the most strongest and independent black women. So black men who don't date other black women, especially when they're darker skinned, are just not man enough.
But honestly, the most illogical statement that she said right here is by some means that white men are more masculine for choosing to deal with what she self-proclaims as masculine black women. And the thing is white men don't want masculinity either. These white dudes are not choosing masculine black women to be in relationships with. No one's choosing them. Nobody wants to deal with them. No races, toxicity. No one wants to deal with that shit irrespective of the economic status of said person. Nobody wants it. It's just amazing to me that we have young ladies that walk off in life and continue to think like this with this incredibly illogical estimation of what is going on around them. And
Most was like, if want to take me out, he got to pay for my babysitter. Why should my baby daddy and me got to pay for my babysitter when you the one that want to take me out?
I'm not going to ask a to pay for my babysitter. I'm expecting you to know to do that for me. So if I notice that you didn't think to do something like that, or you ain't try to like work around that in whichever way, then I'm not messing with you. They're not saying it, they're expecting it. And then they weed you out accordingly. Okay. And that's the way it should be done.
Welcome back to Authentic Alphas with Ayindei. So today we're going to discuss the truth about divested women. So we all are familiar with women's lack of accountability and their inability to face reality, make up all these weird ass excuses to explain their situation rather than just looking within and, making whatever changes and adjustments are required to get the results that they want. So now it's becoming very, very popular for black women to have this notion that they're all of a sudden going to start dating non-black guys and somehow they're going to get better results over there, as if they even have those options to begin with. So that first little clip I put as an intro, at least what I took from that clip, is that black dudes, regardless of their, economic status, are a lot less likely to be treating low-value women as if they're these high-valued commodities. So you see the young lady in the clip and her expectation for literally some other dude that's simply interested in smashing, paying for her babysitter. Now, there's two ways that you can look at that. You could be a dude that's like, yeah, damn right, I'll pay for that babysitter because I just want to smash. And that's been my view many of times. You know what I mean? Like, those guys acted like that was ridiculous what she said. It's not ridiculous what she said. It's ridiculous the premise under which she's saying it. So if a guy just wants to smash and money isn't really an issue, yes, you pay for that babysitter, you pay for that Uber, you pay for the food and the drinks that you put in her, you have a good time, and you go about your business. You pay to play. I don't really see anything wrong with that whatsoever. Now, her thinking that a guy is supposed to pay for her babysitter so that he can get to know her, now that's the part that's laughable. That's the part that's ridiculous. It's like, so you expect this guy to literally cover the expenses of making you available to date, to get to know someone, to play stepdaddy. So you're really not looking for a man at that point. You're looking for a sucker. But I'm just going to go ahead and give you my argument ahead of time, and then we'll run through the clips that I organized. So it is of my opinion, my strong opinion, that black women divesting, as they say, and dating non-black men is no different than women that hit the wall settling for whatever guy they have to settle for at 36, 38, 40, or whatever the case may be. It's no different than the guy that overweight women have to settle for. It's no different than any women settling for any men. It's the same thing. So it's not, it's not this like liberation or this relief for black women. It's actually a last option. It's actually by default. Now what happens is we confuse a quality dude with a dude that just simply has some money that's willing to finance this situation. So these women are acting as if, okay, well, I'm a single mom, so I'm gonna go ahead and get this guy. I'm gonna settle for this guy because he's willing to come on and be stepdaddy. Okay, obviously he has less options, because if he could find a girl that looked as good or better than you that didn't have kids, he'd be with that chick. So the mere fact that he was even dating you to quote unquote fall in love with you just shows a lack of options, a lack of value on his behalf. Now, granted, he might be a guy that actually has value, but just doesn't know it, which is common in this modern society. There's a lot of guys who actually are valuable guys. They just don't know they are because they've been told otherwise. The same way, there's a lot of beautiful black women that don't believe it because they've been told otherwise. So you have many groups of people that are believing the stereotypes that are given for them. They're believing, that they fit into this little box that has been created for them, rather than seeing their own self-worth and their own value through their own eyes and their own lens, independent of what the media and society and blah, blah, blah is telling them. But you have women telling each other that you're beautiful girl, you're gorgeous girl, you're perfect girl. And it's just like the most ridiculous thing, because you're not a lesbian. You're not interested in dating other women. So why are you rating yourself based on what other women tell you? And then you have other women telling you that you're not the problem in these relationships that keep failing, but yet your relationships keep failing. So if you're not the problem, then why do you keep getting the same result while yet dating different men? So I feel like women are going way, way, way too far out of their way to avoid the obvious truth that's right in front of their face, simply because it's uncomfortable. So when it comes to black women dating outside, the first thing that they're going to do is what all women are doing nowadays, which is comparing themselves to men. The first thing they're going to do is say, well, men do it. And this is the first thing that we got to get past. Men and women are not the same at all. So career choice is going to affect them differently. Being a parent is going to affect them differently. How they choose their mate is different. Okay? How they value their mate is different. Men dating women outside of their race or cultural group is different. Okay? Everything is different for men and women. Maybe when we sit down to take a shit, that's probably about the only thing that's the same. Everything else is completely different. Okay? From how we pee to how we choose our mates. Okay? And what those mates are bringing into our life as far as value is concerned. So now let me try to put it in a simpler way. Now that we've done that, when men, especially black men, date outside of their race, it is not by default. It's literally the opposite. It's that guy has so many options that he can choose a woman that doesn't look like him or his mother. Okay? You hate your mama. Because you have so many options that you can date a woman that doesn't resemble your mother in attitude, mentality, or looks, that doesn't mean you hate your mom. That means that you're fortunate enough to have your pick of the litter. Now, when black women date outside of their race, it is by default. It's the only guy I could get that looks the way I want him to look on paper, okay? It has to be a non-black guy. It's a default. And I'm going to prove it to you right the fuck now how it's default. And also, I'm also going to explain to you the difference between swirling and biracial dating. I'm gonna kill both of these birds with one stone, right? Let's put it into perspective. When you are talking about these so-called divested women or black women that date white boys or whatever, I almost guarantee you, majority of the time, you're talking about a woman that dated many, many, many black men from her first boyfriend all the way up to her most recent, and then started dating white boys. So what does that tell you? That tells you that she's always been attracted to black men. Her attraction didn't change. Your attraction doesn't just change because it's inconvenient or more convenient. Your attraction is your attraction. So these women always have been and still are attracted to black men. Okay? But what happened was their relationships all failed. So now they're trying something different, hoping to get a different result rather than changing themselves. Because those same black men that didn't commit to them, that didn't want to have relationships with them, or didn't want to stay with them, or didn't want to quote unquote deal with them, all right, I guarantee you those men at some point in time, they're going to wife up someone else. They're going to commit to someone else. They're going to marry someone else. They're going to behave the way she wanted them to behave with someone else, which means it wasn't out of that guy's capacity. It wasn't out of that guy's value, right? It was simply he didn't want to do that or be that for her. So now she's trying to find a white boy or a Spanish guy or a whatever guy, Asian guy, whatever guy that will be that for her. That's all default shit. Now, a black dude saying to himself, okay, I have Spanish women, I have white women, I have Asian women, I have all these women that are interested in me enough to not only sleep with me, but date me. And I'm going to get to how that's also different. So I have all these women that are interested in being with me. Okay, so what am I going to do? I'm going to pick the one that has the best attitude. I'm going to pick the one that's most cooperative. I'm going to pick the one that's most attractive. And if that's not a black woman, then guess what? That's the opposite of default. That's him literally having the choice to pick what suits him best out of what he has to choose from, and that happened to be a non-black woman. It's literally opposite causes to get that effect. Opposite. But yeah, black women, the first thing they're going to say is, well, black men do it. Well, black men do it, so we're going to do it. Yeah, but black men are doing it for a completely different reason. They're doing it because they're choosing something different. You're doing it because you can't get the choice that you want, right? So completely different. Now, the next argument, and all of this is going to come later on in the video, but I want to preface it in the fucking beginning so there's no confusion as to what the hell I'm trying to say with this content. All right? So now the next thing is that let's talk about the white guys and the non-black guys that are actually dating these black women, right? If they're dating them and they're in relationships with them, marrying them, having babies with them, yeah, 90% of the time that's going to be dudes who their own women didn't want them. So it's the same shit for them. It's a default, right? Now, for the guys that are actually choosing these black women, okay, majority of the time, it's going to be a fetish. It's unfortunate, but this is the reality of it, okay? So the white boys that are settling down with these black chicks is by default. The ones that are just having fun with them and hooking up with them and genuinely find them like more attractive than their own women, that's some fetish. They're fetishizing these black women, okay? Now, that's going to be a major concern for black women, and that's an issue that black women run into dating non-black men. They run into this issue of the men just fetishizing them, and it just being a fetish type of thing, like, oh, I've never been with a black chick, I want to try it, whatever, or I get a certain kind of power trip, or I feel a certain way, or it could even be some weird dominant, you know, racial type thing, right? Some slave master slave type scenario that they got going on, they want to play out. It could be all of these things. Now, this is going to hurt black women's feelings. It's going to shatter their egos and their self-esteem even more than not being preferred by the most valuable of black men, which is really what they're complaining about. The celebrities, you know, the guys that have all of the status and the clout or whatever, tend to be choosing non-black women. It's not wealthy or successful black men in general, but it's at least the ones in the public eye, right? So that's already hurting their feelings. Now, what happens when they go to this white boy thinking that, oh my God, he really likes me, he really sees me, the real me, only to find out that it's just a fetish. It's just a sexual thing. It's just fun, right? That's going to hurt them even more, okay? But they're going to try to say that, oh, well, that's also an issue and a concern for black men. How do you know that these white women don't just want you because it's a fetish? Okay, I'll tell you how. Men and women, again, are not the same. We're choosing our mates and interacting with the opposite sex for different reasons. When men of any race approach women and are first interested in women, it is sexual. It is a physical attraction. The men are interested in having sex with these women. That there is no long term in that. That might come later if they get along with the woman. She has all these other values and they decide, yes, I would like to be in a long-term relationship with this woman and be with her. But initially it starts off as just sex, okay? Now, women are interested in men for a multitude of reasons. They could be interested just for casual. Obviously, that happens. Their cycle comes around every month, and at some point in time, they're interested in just physical, intimacy and pleasure. But for the most part, women are choosing their mates based on provision, protection, stability, commitment, all of that. Okay? Now, with that being said, if non-black women are interested in black men, majority of the time it's got to be for those things, for a relationship. So where's the fetish, the fetishizing there? How are they being fetish? How is it a fetish if she's interested in being with him for any period of time? It's not a fetish, okay? If she's dating or married to a white guy and she steps away just to have a fling with a black dude or just a hookup with a black dude just for the sex, yeah, that could be a fetish, okay? And I'm not saying that's not a thing. I've experienced that many times. Women that were non-black and weren't interested in anything serious or relationship, they just legit hadn't been with a black dude, or they had been with a black dude and they like it just for the sex. Okay, but when they're holding hands with a man, when they're taking a man to the company party, when they're bringing a guy home to the family, it's a white dude. And that's fine. That's fine with me, but that is nowhere near the majority. That is the very, very small percent, actually. Majority of the times, these women are actually interested in dating black dudes. So, and I already did a video on why when women date black dudes, they can't go back to their own men. So go check that video and watch that. Anyway, let's check out some of these clips.
Yo, let me tell you something. I get so tired of you ladies talking about, well, she needs to leave him so she can go find somebody that's better and they can treat her right. It's not how it works. How do you think he found her? It's because she's messed up, okay? Don't even worry about who we talking about. She's messed up. See, the truth is, when she leaves a crappy dude, she's going to attract another crappy dude, just with a different name and taller or shorter. Because it's her. It's not the dudes. You are who you attract. So what I want you to know is until she or you get therapy or coaching and change your own issues, you're going to attract the same dude that you were just with. So no, you're not going to find somebody better until you become better.
I'm just starting off with some examples of women refusing to take accountability, to look in the mirror and say, what's wrong with me? All right. These women are so quick to say that the problem is men, okay, when we know that it's not all men, it's the men you're choosing. And then it's like, okay, well, then the problem is the men I'm choosing. It's like, yes, but you chose that guy or those guys. So that would be the problem being you, right? So they're not even one stop deviated away from the truth. They're 2 or 3 steps deviated away from the truth. Okay, they're way out there, okay, in make-believe land as to why they're getting the same results from different men. And what dude just said basically is that, look, you're not going to leave this guy that's not treating you right, and then this next guy is going to treat you right. Now, I don't necessarily believe in that. There are women who are tolerating being mistreated, and they can leave that guy and find a guy that is going to appreciate them and treat them better. That there is a percentage of that. But for the most part, Western women, their issue is that they don't realize that the same way that they can judge and characterize a man's value based on his accomplishments and what assets and resources he has at his disposal. Women have no problem looking at a guy and saying, okay, this is the car he drives. This is how he dresses. This is the career he has. And this is the property he owns. So he's this value. They have no problem doing that. But what they have a problem accepting is that women are actually valued by the men that they lock down. So when you look at a woman and she's single, the first thing you got to be asking yourself is, what's wrong with this woman while she's single? What's wrong with this woman why no guy wants to be with her and wants to act right? Okay, that's strike number 1 or flag number 1. Now, you could just be lucky and you caught her in between relationships. You could just be lucky, right? But when you read into it, what were the qualities of the last guys that she dated? And usually women have nothing but negative things to say about the guys that they dated in the past. That's another flag right there. So you mean to tell me that you've only attracted low quality men? You've only managed to be in relationships with low quality men, and the men of higher quality just have sex with you and disappear? So what does it say about that woman? But she's not asking herself these questions. Instead, she's telling herself that no, it's the men that are the problem, and eventually I'm gonna get lucky and find one that's valuable, without changing herself, without improving herself. Whereas men, we understand that the more we work on ourselves, the more we better ourselves, the more we increase our value, is the better options that we're gonna have. We get that. You want a better woman? Create a better you, dude. Women, for some reason, don't get that concept. Now, you will see these women on these tea channels, on these female gossip channels, watching The View, watching Oprah, watching Divested women channels. They'll watch all that shit, but how many of them are watching channels on femininity? How many of them are watching channels on how to submit to a man? You see what I mean? They're not willing to do that work to make themselves better mates and better options, but they're willing to watch channels that reinforce their complaints and their blaming of their issues on men. Just saying, man, I'm kicking the facts here.
Men are saying they like a little weight on you. We do like a little weight on you in a certain place. A little weight on you is like having a cherry on top of a sundae, not a cherry-filled sundae. So when a man says, I want a little weight on you, that does not mean he wants you to be overweight. You don't have to have a big butt. All you have to have is a little waist. The smaller your waist is, the bigger your ass will look. It's about symmetry.
There goes another example of women choosing to believe something because it makes things easier for them and they don't have to make any changes to themselves. You have women that are overweight, but instead of accepting that, yo, you're overweight, you're obese, clinically, instead of them accepting that, they'd rather accept, no, I'm big bone. No, I'm curvy. Nope, I'm voluptuous. Nope, I'm plus size. They'd rather believe all of that bullshit than just simply believe you're fat. It's a much shorter sentence. The truth usually takes a lot less to explain. It's like, yo, you're fat. That's it. It's that simple. You're fat and fat is unattractive. But no, because that would mean she has to work on herself. She has to get in shape. She has to use discipline. She has to actually keep a diet. She has to actually work out. No, she doesn't want to do that. No, she wants you to just take her as she is. And if you don't, you're the problem. So what this woman is doing is sitting here convincing herself that, no, what it is that men like women with all this on them. And he's trying to explain to them, listen, men like women that are thick, okay? And the way you can tell the difference between thick and fat is real simple. Thin waist. That's it. If a chick has wide hips, thick thighs, a big butt, but she got a thin waist, she ain't fat. If she got all of those, but she has a thick waist, a thick midsection, you're fat. It's that simple. It is that simple, right? And for guys, it's actually similar because you could easily say, a skinny guy could easily say, oh, well, women like guys with abs. It's like, yeah, dude, but they like guys that have muscle mass and then have abs, okay? If you're a skinny ass guy and then you got abs, it's like, so what? You're a skinny ass dude, so your abs don't mean shit because you have no chest, you have no shoulders, you have no thighs, you have no back. Nothing. All of you is just a skinny wire frame. So you having abs means all of nothing. It doesn't, there's no benefit to it. All right. So a skinny dude with abs is the same as a fat chick with a big butt. It doesn't mean anything, okay, if it's not proportionate.
Women aren't emotionally stable because we're going through phases. Like, we have a cycle. That's something that we should all know. So we go through our luteal phases, we go through our ovulation phases. So we're going to be emotionally pulled back and forth. See, now what you should be aware of is a woman that's conscious of those things. Like, okay, I might be crying today, may not really know the reason. Oh, okay, my hormones shifted. You have to be aware of those things. Like, are you hormonally balanced? You know, are you hormonally imbalanced? Those are things that's going to contribute to her mindset.
Is that particular woman acting like that at work? I bet when she in front of the white man getting a check, when she at work, she ain't all over the place and this and that. I bet she can get her work done. But show me that woman at work in front of the white man. See, she'll do all that for the white man. But when it comes to us, you're emotionally unstable.
There goes an example of women making excuses for their behavior. And the way that he demolished that argument is something that I've been doing for years. All right. She said that her attitude and her behavior She can't be held accountable for it because women are emotional. We go through all these cycles. It's our emotions. So you just got to give us a pass. You got to put up with this shit and tolerate it. And he said that's bullshit because when you go to work, you behave yourself, regardless of your cycle, regardless of your emotions. Now, I've been saying this to women for so long, and it has the same effect that it had when he said what he said. It leaves them speechless. They can't say shit. And this is how I'll put it into perspective for them. I'll first ask women, so, you're a single mom or whatever. Okay, where's the father of your children? Oh, I'm not going to listen to no man. No man going to tell me what to do. And I let them go on their little rant about how they're strong and independent. No man is going to tell them what to do. No man is going to control them, right? No man is going to be the boss of them and whatever. And when they're done with all that bullshit, I simply remind them, so you do wake up every morning, take your kids to school, and then go to work. Yeah? Okay. Who runs your company? Who's the CEO of your company? It's a man, right? Who's the head manager? It's a man, right? And there a lot of times their supervisor is also a man. So you mean to tell me you go to work and follow the chain of command of men who are strangers and can fire your ass at any time. You can get laid off at any time, or you can get replaced by an app, which is what's happening to women's jobs, is getting replaced by either an app or AI. So who's going to lose the most jobs and employment when AI is employed everywhere? It's going to be women. Women are going to lose majority of their jobs. The last estimate I saw was some 88% of women are going to lose their jobs once AI takes over. But those same women refuse to listen to their husband, boyfriend, father of their children, or even their real father. So you won't listen to men that personally know you, that have a bond with you, that can't just go away. You can't just swap out the father of your children. You can't just swap out your dad. You can't swap out your uncle, swap out your big brother. So you won't listen to the men that care about you the most and can't replace you, but you will listen to strangers who can replace you with the snap of a fingers and a fucking interview or an app. They can interview someone else for the job, or they can replace you with an app or a robot. Just saying, women, your logic doesn't make any fucking sense.
Seen a post where it was like, if want to take me out, he got to pay for my babysitter. Why should my baby daddy and me got to pay for my babysitter when you the one that want to take me out?
I'm not going to ask a to pay for my babysitter. I'm expecting you to know to do that for me.
Mm-hmm.
So if I notice that you didn't think to do something like that, or you ain't try to like work around that in whichever way, then I'm not messing with you. They're not saying it, they're expecting it. And then they weed you out accordingly. Okay. And that's the way it should be done.
Well, I'll weed you out accordingly too, because if you got kids, I ain't with you.
That was the full clip from the beginning, and I just wanted to put it in there in its entirety because the end of it is gold. She said that we eliminate men based on their refusal to pay for certain things, and he said, yeah, well, we eliminate you for simply being a single mom. Duh. It's the level of hypocrisy of these women that just never ceases to amaze me. Women think it's okay for them to eliminate men whenever they feel like it, for the most trivial or superficial of things, but they have such an issue when they're eliminated. So you can eliminate guys based on income. You can eliminate guys based on race. You can eliminate guys based on height, okay? And you can eliminate guys based on standing up for themselves and having self-respect and not agreeing with your bullshit, okay, of how they're supposed to act according to you. You think that you could be the arbiter of what a man is and what a man does and how he behaves and what he thinks, and you're a woman. You're the last person that should be telling a man how to be a man. But you have an issue with a man saying, this is what I am, this is who I am, this is what I'm willing to do, and this is what I'm not willing to do. But yet women think that they have the right to disqualify men for whatever reason they feel like it. I'm just saying, bro, it doesn't make any sense.
You know, sorry to this couple, but it's always fascinating to me when white women marry black men, and then there's only white women, not even a person of color, definitely not a black woman, in the bridal party, but the groomsmen will have his black homeboys in the groom's party, and then the only black women at the wedding are the close family members to the groomsmen. But you know what? You're going to find us when you have kids, because you will always need our labor.
This goofy chick just displayed some more hypocrisy. So black women over here high-fiving each other and encouraging each other to date non-black men and congratulating each other for it, but they still have all this jealousy and disdain and issues with black men dating non-black women. She's even worrying about who's at the wedding. Why do you care? Black women are not even in support of that union. So why would a black man invite them to the wedding when that is a risk? That's a risk and a liability. Most women can't even control their feelings, especially black women. So why would you be inviting black women to certain functions when you know there's a huge likelihood that they're going to destroy that event with their attitude, with their temper, with their jealousy, with their envy, with their bad behavior? If they're notorious for having bad behavior and no respect for black men, why would you invite them on one of the most important, if not the most important day of your life? Why would you invite them there to give them the opportunity to ruin that for you and then take no accountability for it? Even though at that point, I don't give a fuck if you take accountability for it or not. I don't want you ruining my shit. You understand what I'm trying to say? So if black women have a terrible attitude and publicly, make it clear that they don't want black men with non-black women, why would you invite them to your wedding? That's just stupid. And then if this is a guy that's choosing to marry a white woman, chances are he doesn't like putting up with that type of attitude and that disrespect that comes from black women, which I don't understand, because black women sit here and they'll be so mad at me for saying the things I'm saying. But it's like, why do you think that black men are supposed to just put up with disrespect when it's universally understood that black women have zero respect for black men, no matter what? Just you being a black man, it doesn't matter if you're rich, tall, handsome, smart, educated, polite, a gentleman. It doesn't matter. They have no respect for black men. They only even pretend to respect black men when they have no choice, when they're put in a situation where they have to pretend to, when they want something or they need something. You get what I'm trying to say? It's the only time they even pretend to respect them. So why would y'all have a problem? Why would black women have a problem with black men saying, you know what, I don't want to be around people that disrespect me, regardless of their color? If someone disrespects you, get the fuck out of there. It just doesn't make any sense to me. But anyway, my point was, as if this guy is dating a white woman, chances are that's how he feels. That's probably why he chose that. So if he doesn't want to be around that negativity and that energy, why would he want it raising his children? Because she's over here saying, you're going to need us to help with the kids. Like, no. Why would he need you to help him with it? Okay, first of all, what exactly is it that black men need black women for? We don't need you for anything. We don't need you for jack shit. What you could do is be cooperative. You could do that. You know what I mean? What you could do is be supportive. What you could do is be inspiring. You could be appreciative, but we don't actually need these things. Those things would just be nice. They improve life. They help with the struggle, but we don't need them. Black women, on the other hand, like all women, actually need their men. They fundamentally need their men. So we're not the ones that need to make the adjustment here. Again, just saying. And I'm pretty sure this dude would be fine without his black sisters and whatnot helping to raise his kids. And if he needed them, they would already be at the wedding.
I do not like light skins. They are too feminine for me.
Light skins is bitches, period.
Light skin guys are cool too.
Okay. They like soft.
But if men was to do the same thing and say why they like light skin and don't like dark skin, then they will be all types of...
we would have been burned already.
Yeah, literally. You could have your preference without being disrespectful.
That clip in there because those girls are young. And the point that I'm trying to make with that is very few black girls start off liking non-black guys. Most black girls like black guys, and they also like the brown skin to dark skin guys. Just saying. I'm not saying they don't think light-skinned guys are cute or they don't go through a phase when they like light-skinned guys or whatever. But for the most part, most women of color like dark-skinned men. So all of that dating white guys and non-black guys, that shit comes later, which means it is not the option. It's not the preference. It's default. All right? That's where that comes from.
Tonight we're going to be talking about tips on how to be divested, or just tips for the divested ladies. So if you are interested in that, keep watching. Let's get into it. Alrighty, so just to cover the first base, you might be asking yourself, well, what does it mean to be a divested lady? To be a divested woman means simply that you're taking yourself or removing yourself from environments that may be filled with people or things that you no longer desire to be around.
The female Fat Albert giving women dating advice, which is always amazing. Women are always taking advice from people that have no results to show for said advice that they're giving. It always leads them down the wrong path, and then they get upset, bitter, and miserable when they don't get the results they were told they will get, when really all they had to do was work on themselves. It's real simple, but everything this chick said already is cap. All right? Divesting is not removing yourself from people and things that don't serve you or whatever, because unless you're going to move to another country, you're not removing yourself from the issue that black women are experiencing. It's a Western issue. You're experiencing this because you live in a culture, okay, that shows you a different perception of beauty than yourself. Dating a white guy is not going to escape from that. If anything, it's going to amplify that, because now you're going to be in the white boy's world, stupid. You would be better off staying in your own community, improving yourself, and doing what you have to do to attract and keep a higher quality black man in your own community. That's what's going to make you feel loved and beautiful. But trying to bounce out to another community that is the community that says that you're at the bottom, let me make a confession. Not only do I love women, I love black women. That's why this shit is frustrating to me. Because y'all do it to yourselves with your logic, with your form of thinking. You're not only are you blaming, but you're running away from the one component that would actually be the solution. The love, leadership, and guidance of a strong black man is your fucking salvation. But yet that's what you blame and that's what you run from. It's unbelievable to me. You run to the lies that make you feel good temporarily but make you feel worse in the long run, rather than accept the truth that is so uncomfortable for you in the short term, but it's going to be gratifying when you accept it and make the changes in the long run. It's like Jordan Peterson says, being disingenuous and going with a lie is going to be comfortable in the short term. It's going to be terrible in the long term. But being blunt and honest with yourself and others is going to be very uncomfortable in the short term, but it's going to be much better for everyone in the long term. That's what it is. These women continue to set themselves up for failure and unhappiness because they don't want to go through the short, you know what I mean, scorn or the short pain of the truth.
Right? So tip number 1 is know why you're doing it, right? Know what your purpose for taking this route is. Don't just do it because it seems popular now, or it's a movement or a trend that's picking up, steam or whatever.
Women in general do things because it's popular. They do things because it's trending. Women treat their life decisions the same way that they treat their fashion decisions, based on what the last issue of whatever said, based on what's on TikTok, based on what's on Instagram. That's how they make their decisions in life. That's literally how they decide what drink they're going to get from Starbucks. That's how they decide what restaurant they're going to go to. Okay? What man they're going to date. All the decisions they make on what's popular, what's trending right now. So her whole premise is just already in the trash. It's already bullshit. It's already lies. Then this is coming from an unattractive, overweight black woman. So are we sure this isn't another example of the last video I did on colorism? Are you sure this isn't another issue of just you're not eligible for pretty privilege? Oh no, it couldn't be that. It couldn't be that. No. It's black men. That's the problem. So I gotta divest. I gotta find a white guy that's gonna tell me I'm beautiful, rather than becoming beautiful. So her first tip is know the reason why you're doing it, but then goes on to lie to herself about the reason why she's doing it, and give other women a lie, an excuse, okay, to hide behind as to why they're doing it. If it was something they really wanted, their first boyfriend would have been non-black. Period.
That's your life, your dating life, and really decide if it's for you. And make sure you're doing it for the right reasons. Like I said, if you're somebody that never particularly came across a reason for why you think you might have to divest, then don't just do it because it seems popular and everyone's doing it. Like a lot of the women, if not all of the women that I know that are divesting like myself, is because we're doing it for very solid reasons. A lot of us are doing it for ourselves and future generations.
I could have easily not even bothered putting that in there, but I just wanted to show you how retarded this chick is, because your tip number 1 and your tip number 2 is the same thing. So right there, we know that you're not even coherent. The shit is redundant, and it's disingenuous. So you just repeated the same lie to yourself. So who are you trying to convince? You're trying to convince your audience, or you're trying to convince yourself? Because a lot of times when women say what they're saying, they're not even trying to convince the person they're talking to. They're actually trying to convince themselves.
So it just depends. But again, find your purpose and your reason for why you choose to do it. I think for me, personally, I became a divested woman when I realized that the world kind of rides on black women's backs, right? The world kind of ride on our back.
I just got to interrupt her again real quick. She actually just said that the world rests on black women's backs. What the fuck are you talking about? What world? What world rests on black women's back? What world is depending on black women? What are we depending on black women for? For the drive-thru at Wendy's? The checkout at Walmart? What? Yo. But if I say this, I'm bashing black women, right? I'm bashing black women because I just don't understand I don't understand how they can say this type of shit with a straight face and actually believe what's coming out of their mouth. If this isn't a cope, I don't know what is. So you're the backbone of the world now? Black women are the backbone of the world now? All right. Men are the backbone of the world. Not any particular color, race, or group of men. Men in general is what the world rests on. Okay, sister? That's what the world rests on, not the backs of black women. Okay? And furthermore, what that is just another example of women having the ability to ignore everyone else's pain, everyone else's issues, everyone else's dissatisfaction doesn't exist. Only their personal grievances exist. They're the only ones that have it rough. They're the only ones that aren't happy. They're the only ones that aren't getting what they want. They're the only ones discriminated against. They're the only one. Like, bro, we just got to laugh at this.
It's almost like we're expected to carry the weight for everybody else. We're expected to kind of bear the brunt of everything for everyone. And I just got tired of that. I got tired of feeling like I couldn't be soft and delicate and feminine and just really like revel in that and really just soak up what it's like to be a woman, because people were expecting me to always come to the rescue and fix things. And, you know, I just got to the point where I'm just like, dang, for once I want to be the person that can depend on or call on somebody else to fix it. You know, I don't want to be the fix-it person anymore. So that was a big reason of why I chose.
Let me explain this. Okay, first of all women want to have someone they can rely on. All women want to be able to rely on a man to fix it and to, you know, make it work and have direction, have a plan and all this type of stuff. Yeah, I get it. All the independent women are going to tell me, no, I don't want to depend on a man. Yeah, I get it. Whatever, shut up. That's why you're complaining about not having a man. You're saying that you don't want or need a man, but then you're complaining about not having a man. Just shut that shit up. Anyway, okay, part of being feminine, part of being a woman is that you're programmed and wired, okay, biologically, to want to look for a strong man that can lead, that has a plan, that can protect, and can fix things. Okay, that's what you look for in a man, those qualities. Now, I don't know why she's over here talking about people rely on her to fix what? Okay, anyway, what she needs to be focused on fixing is herself. Okay, like I said in the last colorism video, I don't want to hear it unless you've maxed out on what you can change. Okay, if you're not in the best shape that you can be in, all right, if you're not taking care of your health, taking care of your skin, taking care of your face, doing the best that you could do with your hair, if you're not doing all of those things, if you're not being as feminine as you can be, if you're not being as ladylike as you could be, as cooperative, if you're not doing that, if you're not maxing on that, I don't want to hear your complaints. Because we expect men to. We expect men to earn as much as they can. We expect men to be in the best shape that they can, right? We expect men to be tall, which is something they don't even have control over. But we expect men to excel in all the areas that they have control over. Okay? So yeah, women need to be doing the same before they're bitching, whining, and complaining. So I'm not picking on women because I say the same thing to the guys. Until you've maxed on yourself, you're not in a position to complain about the quality of women that you can get. It's that simple. Improve you, I guarantee you will get a better quality of woman. All right? That's just simple, you know what I'm saying, cause and effect right there. But anyway, what she's really saying is that she refuses to put in the work on herself. That's what she's actually saying. She's saying, I divested because I refuse to put in the work that needs to be done in order for men to treat me the way that I want to be treated. Just saying. It's the same thing at a job. You can't complain about not getting a raise. You can't complain about not getting the position you want. You can't complain about not being treated the way you want to be treated at work if you're not as productive as you can be. If you're not actually an asset to that company, you can't sit here and complain that they don't want to treat you the way that you want to be treated. You got to earn certain things in life.
like, okay, you're giving different men different chances, like completely different men from completely different walks of lives chances, and it all boils down to the same thing. So what does that tell you? Like, it's just an overall issue. Like, it's an umbrella issue. It's not a specific issue, but it's an umbrella.
It is a specific issue. It's not an umbrella issue. It's not men in general. It doesn't matter what the hell you're saying when it proves the opposite of your point. What she's trying to do is explain and justify how she, of all things, is not what the problem is, when in all actuality her argument just proves that exactly it is her that's the problem. She just said that she's tried all these different men from all these different walks of life and got the same result. That literally means that the problem is you, sis. That's literally what that means. That's what that argument proves, is that the issue is you. If you're getting the same results from different men, the issue is you. And when you're going to get a different result from a man is when you try a lower quality man. Yes, a lower quality man is going to treat a woman better because he's the best that she can do, the best that he can get. So he's going to do what men do, which is adjust themselves and edit themselves and overwork themselves to try to keep a woman in their presence. Unfortunately, that's what men do. But that's what low quality men do especially. All right? The higher quality of a man you are is the less you have to defer to females. Nothing about this math is complex. Women just are stubborn and they put everything through an emotional filter first. And what comes out on the other end is what's going to hurt their feelings the least.
I'm not willing to wait around and really continue kissing frogs to find my prince. I'm just not there with it. I'm not willing to keep putting up with subpar treatment and excuses and, lack of accountability just all around, to eventually stumble upon the golden nugget that isn't like that. Like, I don't have time for that. So that's another reason why I divested too.
So she's not willing to wait around. She's not willing to accept subpar treatment, and she's not willing to accept excuses. But yet, she's making excuses for herself. She's giving herself subpar treatment while demanding better treatment from men. So you want men to treat you better than you treat yourself. And then she's not willing to wait around for a man. Okay, so you're not willing to wait around for a man that accepts you as you are, that fits the description of what you want. So you're willing to compromise your preference rather than to work on yourself. So instead of putting the time in and the effort in to work on yourself, to bring yourself up to get the quality of man that you want, instead you're willing to accept a lower quality than what you want just so that you can get the treatment that you want without working for it. You know what that sounds a lot like to me? That sounds a lot like when women become strippers or do porn or do OnlyFans because they want to make that type of money, but they don't want to actually learn a skill that's that valuable, right? Instead of working hard to put themselves in a position where they can earn that type of money, doing something with integrity, something with honor, they're like, fuck it, I'd rather just lower my standards on my own personal respect, my own personal value, my own personal integrity. I'd rather compromise all of that to do OnlyFans and make that type of money, or do porn and make that type of money, or go work in a strip club and make that type of money, or be a sugar baby and make that type of money. So I'm willing to compromise myself, my soul, to make the money I want, rather than work hard to earn the money I want, or to develop a skill worth the money I want. It's a lot of parallels here, guys, a lot of parallels. So you wonder why so many girls are on OnlyFans right now. You wonder why so many black women are talking about divesting. Well, it's because these women are willing to compromise that aspect of themselves rather than just work harder to become more valuable human beings.
Lives. I've really been noticing that a lot of black women, or there's black women that's newer to the movement, so they don't really understand, or some people are just, hell-bent on not understanding anyway, the movement. So I'm gonna first go ahead and dive into what divestment is not. Divesting is not obsessing with non-black men. Divesting has nothing to do with being crazy for non-black men, because divestment is about us. So it has nothing to do with being obsessed with white daddy. It has nothing to do with being obsessed with non-black men. It's about us. The second thing divestment is not, is hating black men and black people. Divestment has nothing to do with the hatred for black people. Like every time you walk down the street, you see someone and you just hate them because they're black. Absolutely not. It's not even, for me, it's not even hating black men. You know, I just don't care. It's as simple as that. It's just not, you know, a place I choose to put my energy, okay? The third thing I want you guys to understand that divestment is not denying social issues or societal issues or economic differences, you know, racial issues, whatever have you. We're not trying to pretend that there's no such thing as white supremacy, that there's no such thing as racism, that there's no such thing as, you know, disadvantages, prejudices. No, we're not stupid here, okay? In fact, we're very smart. We just choose.
Now we're gonna get into the perception or the imagery that black women show each other of what swirling is gonna be like, or what divesting is gonna be like. So we're first gonna go through the picture that they paint, what they're convincing each other it's gonna be like. And then we're gonna get into the sad reality of how this shit really plays out and what it's really most likely gonna be about for most of these women. But I do want you to pay attention to the quality of these these white boys in these clips and what they're doing. And if this ain't the most simpish behavior, I don't know what is. So if you're settling for a white simp or a black simp or an Asian simp, does it really matter what color the simp is? At the end of the day, dude's a fucking simp. And that's why he's with your low quality ass.
From 2017 to us now. I could do this for hours. Sit and talk to you for hours. I wanna give you your flowers and some champagne showers. All the shrimp and lobster towers. But it's me that gets devoured. Ooh, you do what you do. I'm empowered. You give me a superpower. Together the world could be ours. You stick me up on the counter. Instantly send the showers. Storming for a couple hours. When we finish, take a shower. I could do this for hours and hours and hours. I could do this for hours and hours and hours.
Before I close my eyes, the only thing that's on my mind, been dreaming that you
see the things he does for you, Sierra? But do you?
I do. Because you weren't gonna do it, but he always says something.
You're right, I wasn't gonna do it.
You see, certain divestment channels, talking about black female divestment channels. I ain't gonna name any names, but you guys know who they are. They want to sell this narrative that when black women divest, suddenly everything is gonna be different. They're gonna have no problems. They're gonna find themselves a nice, successful, non-black man who's gonna love, cherish, and keep them.
Just like my boy said, man, they really think that they're gonna just start dating non-black guys, and all of a sudden, everything's gonna be, you know, sunshine and rainbows, when they actually did nothing to improve themselves. So, like I said, you're settling for guys that are simps. I don't care what color they are. You're acting like the color is what's the change or what's the difference. These guys are treating these women differently because they're simps, not because they're white boys. Okay? Anyway. And then another thing I want to point out about this female behavior and their nature is that women tend to try to like use some sucker as proof and evidence to some other guy or other people or whoever that look, I'm not going to be alone forever. I have a guy that wants to commit to me. Look, this guy wants to braid my hair. See, this guy wants to take care of my bastard children. See, you were wrong. I was right. I was right. You were the problem, which everything you said wasn't true. No. I am special. I am this. I am that. And look, I found someone who appreciates me. It's like, what? Bro, I can't work a temp job, okay, at a Fortune 500 company. And then they tell me, hey, listen, man, we got to let you go. Thank you for your time here. We appreciate it. But, we're moving on and, we don't need you anymore. And And then I go now and go manage Burger King, and then I show them pictures of it and video of it. You know, I'm sending them emails of videos of me in my Burger King, you know, uniform managing at Burger King, saying, you see, I'm a manager. You see, you guys lost out. You guys were wrong. You guys were wrong to get rid of me. You see, look, I'm a manager. Like, bro, you weren't good enough to get a permanent position at a Fortune 500 company. That doesn't make them wrong because Burger King would make you a manager. But this is what these women do, bro. They post this shit on social media, and all it proves is that you don't actually love, like, appreciate, value, or respect that dude because you're over here using him as a spectacle and to prove and you can get a man. See, look. He wants to be my husband. He wants to be a stepfather. Women, that doesn't make these men jealous. It doesn't hurt their feelings. It makes us laugh at you. We just laugh at that. We're like, okay, so we just smashed you, skeeted on you, and went about our business on to the next one. And this dude wifed you up. That doesn't make us jealous. We're not going to be like, oh man, a good one got away. We're just going to laugh at him and you. We're going to laugh at both of you idiots.
All right. I need to vent about something, and no, this is not Instacart related at all. I just got to say, dating apps, Hinge, Tinder, all this shit, I'm just done. I'm like literally about to just give up. Hinge was not lying when it said that it is the app that is meant to be deleted because people on there are just wilding. And first of all, I'm picky as hell, so my app is already dry as fuck. But then when you finally get that match, they say the most outlandish shit.
So let me just jump in real quick. So now I'm giving you guys examples of how swirling or divesting or dating out really goes down for black women majority of the time. And unfortunately for them, it's actually going to be a lot more rejection and heartbreak than they were actually experiencing in the black community. So I don't know, man. If sisters want to go down this road, I'm telling you right now, Godspeed, because very, very few women are going to get better results with this strategy. Most of them are just going to get their feelings hurt. I'm just being honest with you. I'm trying to help. I'm trying to help here, black women. Nobody's raining on your parade. Nobody's hating on you. You all can go date white women for white guys for all I care. I really do not care. And I'm not upset when I see anybody with anybody. I don't give a damn. I don't care what color a chick is, what color a guy is. I don't care. Knock yourselves out. Match up. Be happy. Have a good time. Best of luck to everyone. So I don't care about black women dating outside. I'm actually trying to just give them a warning and a heads up. You're actually going to get your feelings hurt majority of the time. Just saying. And you don't have as many options as social media or whoever is leading you to believe. There's really not that many non-black guys that are interested in black women. And what this chick is about to find out is that it's really just a sexual thing when they are. Majority of the time. I'm not saying there isn't non-black guys that don't genuinely love and want to be with black women. I have black women in my family that are married to guys that aren't black, and they've been married forever, and that dude definitely loves them and wants to be with them. And that was his preference. Oh, what I was going to say is that what she doesn't realize about dating apps is what most women don't realize about dating apps. Dating apps are just an extension of human nature. So when guys are on dating apps, they're on it for the same reason as when they talk to women in clubs. They're on it for the same reason as when they talk to women in the grocery store. When men go out looking for women, when they go to bars or wherever, you know, hoping to run into attractive women, they're there because they're trying to hook up. They're trying to meet women to hook up with. So when they're on the dating app, what they're going to do is they're going to use an app the way apps are used. Apps are used to make a function easier, quicker, and more convenient. That's literally what the fuck all applications do. They simplify something, right? So if you're on an app to order food, you want it to be quicker, faster, and more convenient than physically going over there to order the food or calling to order the food. So you're using the app for it to be more convenient and faster for what your intention is. So if guys' intention with meeting women is options for sex, sexual options is why guys want to meet attractive women, then what do you think they're going to be doing on an app? They're going to be using the app to meet more women faster, more efficiently, and more conveniently for sex. So of course guys are going to try to get right to it, which is what I tell guys all the time. If you're on a dating app, get to it. Get to the point. Get to the point of what you want and what your interest is in the girl. Don't beat around the bush. Don't dilly-dally. Don't sugarcoat it. Don't fall for their bullshit and sit here and explain to them what it is that you want and why you on this app in a polite way that's not going to offend them. Those aren't the guys that get laid. Okay, I'm telling you right now because I'm one of the guys that gets laid. If I'm on a dating app, trust me, I'm hooking up with these chicks. And that's not by beating around the bush and trying to, act like it's something else. No, it's by being very direct. And the women that are also down with that, that's what happens. And as any guy that knows anything about women knows, women make rules for the guys that they're not really interested in. And they break rules for the guys that they are sexually attracted to. That's how that works. So the same girl telling you that she doesn't do one-night stands, that she doesn't hook up on the first date and all this other shit, that's the same girl that puts a dude's nuts in her mouth after knowing him for fucking 7 hours if he's tall, handsome, and turns her on. If he turns her on sexually, she's going to hook up with him. All right, that's how that works. But she'll tell the lame dude and she'll tell the simp, oh, I don't do this. She'll even tell the guy that she's hooking up with on the first night that I don't normally do this. So women are just going to lie and be disingenuous about that across the board. Okay, we already know that. Now, women are going to use dating apps the same way that they interact with men on any other in any other way, right? They're going to sit here and try to screen the guy to see if he's going to provide what it is that they want at that moment, whether that be commitment, whether it be just a fling, just a physical thing, whether it be resources, whatever they want. They're going to try to do the same thing with the app. They're going to try to make it quicker, faster, and more convenient, which is why they immediately go to, what are you looking for? Because I'm dating with a purpose. Are you interested in a real relationship, or are you just in the hookups? You see what I mean? They're going to try to screen you for that immediately to see, is this guy going to give me what it is that I want? Okay, if they want money, they're going to try to see if you're willing to pay for their time right out the gate. Okay? But yet they take offense to men getting straight to the point if it's sexual. And that's what this chick has experienced. So let's see the rest of it.
So I matched with this one guy, he's handsome, I like the profile, he's cute or whatever, he got a little guitar. His name Luis, and so I know he's Latino, and me encantan los Latinos, ya tú sabes, que lo que papi chulo. Either way, I slid in his DMs first, coqueteando un poco, just like, ¿cómo estás? What's up, And y'all, the first thing that this fool says to me, I've never been with a black girl. I've always wanted to be with one. Bitch, what? And although I was offended as I decided to educate his ass. I was like, all right, so let me get this straight. We just matched, and I'm saying what's up to you, and that's the first thing that comes out of your mouth? Do you realize when you say stuff like that, that makes me feel like I am nothing but a fetish to you? And now I don't have the desire anymore to want to get to know you, because in the back of my head the whole time I'm going to be thinking this man just really wants me because he wants to fulfill some type of fantasy. Like he really just wanted to check something off of his bucket list. Like, I don't give a f*** if you've never been with a black girl. Either way, you don't say shit like that. But y'all wonder why black women be so frustrated when it comes to dating. Exhibit A. It is so true when they say that you can tell how the relationship is going to go based off of the first conversation. And he knew he messed up. He knew he messed up because his messaged me again and was like, ooh, I already f***ed up, didn't I? Yes, Louise. In fact, you did. Ya no puedo más con estos pinche pendejos. En serio, estoy harta. I'm done. I'm so done. Bye, him.
They don't tell them this. When they date outside of their race, you have to deal with different challenges. One of them is that you now have to be concerned that the person who is dating you, number one, may not be loyal. They may be for the streets. They may only want you for your finances. You may just be an experience to them. That last one, you may just be an experience to them. Let's not even get started on the family. Let's not even go there. Because that is a reality that you will have to deal with sometimes. But again, we want to sell this narrative, this lie that when you date outside your race, everything's going to be perfect. And that's not true. That is not true. You like, especially for the black women who have it in their head that, all these other races of men just desire them at this ridiculously high rate. And look, I'm not saying that these men don't find them attractive. Of course they do. Of course they do. But what do they want these women for? Does that man you are pursuing truly want you for a relationship leading towards marriage? Or does he just want you for a little honey pot action, a little scoop and doop, that's it? Just a little scoop, that's it.
You had to find out the hard way that the dude that she was like feeling, she's like, oh, this guy, yeah, this guy. Okay, this is another thing that women keep on missing. I don't know why this is so hard for them to understand. If a guy is that attractive to you on first glance, that guy's attractive to other women. Okay? So she's over here acting like he fucked up. Oh, he messed up. He messed up. He didn't mess up nothing. He didn't mess up anything. All he did was eliminate, process of elimination. First of all, black women are the least chosen on dating apps. Okay? They have the lowest rating on dating apps. That means the most of them are having a hard time matching up. So he has the upper hand as a Latin guy and an attractive Latin guy, obviously. He has the upper hand. So he actually has more viable options than her. And I know a lot of guys are thinking, no. Women have way more options on dating apps than guys. Yes, they do. Of course they do. Even an ugly chick has more matches than a good-looking guy. Yes, I get that part. Okay? But what I'm trying to say is he has the upper hand because he's a guy she actually is interested in. So yes, he has the upper hand. So he didn't mess up anything. All he did was just get a chick that was going to be difficult to deal with out of the way. Because he's interested in something casual, quick and fast, right? And just a fetish. He just wants to try a black woman. And should that be the case, there are plenty of other black women for him to run the same line on. So out of 10 women, out of 10 black women that he said that to, I guarantee you not all 10 of them are going to respond the way she did. All right? She is misunderstanding her situation. Okay? And she's full of herself. She's entitled. And she already told you she has high-ass standards. So here's a lonely-ass single chick that thinks that she deserves this guy, not realizing that that guy has tons of options. And he's not going to put up with your entitled attitude when he could just find a humble chick that's just happy to be in his bed for the night.
I just feel it coming. Black women, we just can't seem to catch a break. Just as people have made careers and personality traits out of looking like us, talking like us, making fun of us, there is now a phenomenon on social media of non-black men whose career and brand is the fetishization and performative admiration of black women, and they're getting a proper come up out of that.
So this chick is not as delusional as the female Fat Albert. So we're on the other side now. We already dealt with the delusion, what women think dating out of their race is going to be like. This girl is talking more about the reality of these guys that claim to be interested in black women. Now, she does acknowledge certain things going on in society, which is, a good thing because few women do. But at the end of the day, she's still very young, very naive, very inexperienced, and very confused about this shit. But let's see what else she has to say.
Women are also being gaslighted when we try to speak out and criticize it. Not on my watch.
Somebody been smoking and drinking. Somebody been smoking and drinking. Somebody been smoking and drinking.
So yeah, now we gotta take it there. Today's the day. I think white men are fantastic. Why am I dragging it? You see how I be overcompensating just because I know people love to twist my words? Alright, to put it plainly and honestly, I have been attracted to many white men in my life. Yeah, many a Jakes, many a Connors. Love me a good dumper truck Dylan.
Don't fuck me like that, fuck me like this, yeah. His friends and his dad hate me. I broke his little heart, he a crybaby.
But why do some non-black men feel the need to go out of their way to tell the whole wide world that they're willing to date black women and then go on to expect rewards for it? Because the stakes are different when society has historically gone well out of its way to try and strip a group of its desirability. So let's get into it. Let's talk about the non-black men who love us for a come up.
I like those skins, love a melanin, talk, question with the tone. When I'm stepping in, your hoe will get slayed. What's up, Mambo round? Chocolate just how I like it, promise I won't bite it. Sometimes I swear it wasn't good for mine.
Now, from the outside looking in, you may say, what's the big deal? These are just men who are showing love to a disenfranchised group, giving black women the love and admiration that you yourself have said that y'all don't get enough of. Shouldn't you just be grateful? No, this is not genuine appreciation. It's a performance, and it's weird. Genuine appreciation would be celebration without having to make it a point that even though society at large thinks black women are ugly and disgusting, you would still fuck us.
All right, so much to unpack there. So she's like seeing some of the equation, but she's still not seeing the entire picture. So she keeps on saying society this and society that. So she's at least acknowledging that it's society telling you that black women are unattractive. It's the media telling you that. It's entertainment telling you that. What she's not hitting on is that black men, by and large, are not telling you that. They're not giving you that message. Black men are very interested in you. And you see what this girl looks like. You can't tell me that there isn't a bunch of young black guys that want to be with her. So please, knock it off. But again, this brings me back to this issue that I keep trying to remind people of. Women don't care what men think. This is all women, black, whatever color. Women don't care what men think. They don't care what men want. They don't care what men like. They don't care what men feel. but they care about what celebrities do. They care about what talk show hosts tell them. They care about what women on YouTube tell them, and TikTok tell them, and Instagram tell them. They care about what other women think and say. They don't care about what men think and say. So they're over here, you know, with their self-esteem so low. Oh, nobody likes black women. Oh, we're ugly. But you have a plethora of black men telling you that you're gorgeous, you're beautiful, and they want to be with you. But you don't care about none of them. Their opinions don't matter, okay? What it matters is what other women are saying and who's on the cover of the magazine. Who's the love interest in the movie. That's where you get your self-esteem from. Not the men that want to marry you, not the men that want to be your boyfriend, not the men that want to pair up with you. You don't get your self-esteem from them. You get your self-esteem from the mainstream media. That's on y'all. That's on y'all for letting these people control your identity. Then she said, disenfranchised group. Oh, that's right. Black men aren't disenfranchised. The difference is that black men are still men. And what men understand is that competition, being competitive, is how we earn respect and value and self-esteem and confidence. All right? Well, at least some men understand that. You need to understand that as a man, okay? That's the problem, is that a lot of these young boys don't understand that concept. As a man, it doesn't matter what picture is painted of you. It doesn't matter what the mainstream says about you. It doesn't matter what popular belief or common opinion is. None of that shit matters as a man, because you can simply outwork that stereotype. You can outwork that perception. You can outwork that rumor, okay? Somebody can say, oh, black men got a bunch of kids all over the place and they don't take care of their kids. Okay, you can just simply be a black man that doesn't have kids or does take care of their kids. Right there, that goes out the window. Oh, black men are ignorant and violent. All you have to do is be intelligent and not violent. And there goes that stereotype. Black men love fried chicken and watermelon, and their only value is being athletic. All you have to do is not eat fried chicken, be proud of loving watermelon because it's delicious, okay, and have a job or a career that contributes to society. So that's all you have to do as a black man, is just be competitive, right? I'm going to share some advice with you that my grandfather gave me. This is the only advice my grandfather gave me on racism, and it's the only advice that I needed. He said, in this country, a black man has to work twice as hard to be considered half as good as a white man. That's it. In short, what he said was, be competitive, and when you win, you can't be denied. Mic drop. It's that fucking simple, guys. Just be good. Just be good at shit. Be the best at it, and they can't tell you nothing. But, of course, women are not going to employ that logic. They're going to sit around whining and complaining instead of just being better at somebody at something. And if they were to do that, they'd find a great man that wants to marry them. They'd be his wife. He'd be their husband. And they could ignore what everyone else is doing and what everyone else is saying and just focus on their life. But, of course, women can't do that. Many of you who actually do have girlfriends or have girlfriends, just think to yourself, how often was your girl on social media? How often was your girl on some other bitch's Instagram page? I'm constantly telling my girl, yo, what are you doing? Why are you on these other bitches' Instagram page? Why are you worried about what they're doing? Why are you comparing your life to their life? Why are you letting them set the standard? But this is what women do. Biologically, they're wired that way, to be concerned with what other women and other people are doing and saying.
Your entire life told that you're fucking ugly, and then you see a white boy who calls himself a golden retriever being like, I find you attractive, you're gonna feed into it.
Queen. Let's start with her point of white men know how to play into the insecurities of women of color. Yes. But to take it a step further, I would even say this particular act of performative admiration is especially twisted because they are exploiting and capitalizing off of the insecurities of black women, insecurities that they, or at least their group, created. The hierarchy of beauty, which is governed by the white male gaze, adheres mainly to a white standard. And side note, if you want to dive deeper into that topic, Khadija Mbawe did an amazing video called Beauty is in the Eye of the Colonizer. Come on, go check it out, but I would advise everyone just take a deep breath before they click on her video because she's literally breathtakingly beautiful. But yeah, the hierarchy of beauty adheres mainly to a white standard. Thus, in the context of beauty and femininity, black women are the most disregarded, even by our own black men.
Me on her lack of seeing the entire thing. Like, she keeps on giving just a part of it, right? She keeps on saying that it's like these white guys are exploiting women's insecurities, black women's insecurities. Like, sister, hello, wake the fuck up. The media has been doing that for generations. Women do that to other women. All these YouTube channels, all these divested channels, all these man-hating channels or whatever, those channels are making money off of black women's insecurities, off of black women's issues, okay, on their low self-esteem. They're profiting off of it. So I'm not saying that these white boys aren't doing the same thing, but why are you only seeing it when the white boys are doing it? Why don't you see the big picture of how there's so many industries that are literally based on taking advantage of women's insecurities, regardless of their color? Oprah became a billionaire off of taking advantage of women's insecurities. Steve Harvey right now is making a fortune, okay? A fortune. You look at what Steve Harvey was making doing stand-up, you look at what Steve Harvey was doing with a sitcom, and you look at how much money Steve Harvey is making placating to women's insecurities. Stop acting like it's only these young white boys on TikTok that are doing it, sis. Everyone is exploiting the insecurities of all women in general. Knock it off. The next thing is she keeps on saying that society is who's telling black women they're ugly and all this other type of shit. Okay, but black men aren't. But y'all choose to focus on that rather than focus on the men that want you. It is unbelievable to me.
Many of us do eventually make it to the other side of rejecting that standard and purging the internalized misogynoir. And before you know it, it's black girl magic this, my black is beautiful that, I'm a queen without a crown. You see how we be acting. But that shit takes years. It takes a long time. And before we make it to that point, black women, can we just keep it a buck about the desperation that many of us had to overcome? For me, it happened around like age 14. Society and the media had done such a fabulous job of convincing me that I was ugly and undesirable. And I was getting to that age where I just wanted to feel something, you know? I just wanted a little TLC just like everybody else in the 9th grade. And I wanted to feel so beautiful, so bad. I was willing to accept disingenuous and sometimes fetishized attention rather than the absence of attention altogether. You see that little window of despair? That's what's being exploited. And I use the word exploited because these men are getting clouts and followers, which will eventually manifest into currency. But it doesn't look like exploitation, and that's the tricky part. That's why somebody is probably in my comments right now telling me to shut up and stop complaining, because this attention that they're giving us, it presents itself as a privilege, a favor, of which we should be grateful.
At least she's admitting that women will suck up any attention that they can get, which proves my point, is that all this swirling and all this other shit, it's by default. It's by default. You're just taking what you can get at this point because women crave attention and validation that much that they'll take it even when it's a lie, right? This is just part of female nature. They'll accept something they want so bad, even if it's a lie, they'll take it. They'll rather take the lie than take, you know what I'm saying, the genuine. The same thing with attention. Women would rather attention for bad behavior than no attention whatsoever. That's just what it is. There was something else that this chick was on that I wanted to point out. That's what it was. So it's them that has such a big issue with this European, perception of beauty or whatever. It's black women that's hung up on that. Black men, I already told you, don't care. Okay, about who said who's beautiful or not. All we care about is who makes our junk hard. That's what men care about. There's nobody deciding for men what's attractive, what's in. 1 minute women like guys with this body, next minute women like dad bods. It's women that are persuaded, okay, by what's popular or what's trending. Men are going to be attracted to what men are attracted to. And if you don't believe that, then tell me why were the so-called slave masters constantly, taking the butt from the black female slaves? Think about that for a second. So if men have so much decision over who and what they're attracted to, how is it that so-called the superior white race was constantly having sex with the inferior black race in those times? If white women were so much better and so beautiful or whatever, why were they resorting to having sex with the black slaves? Come on, man. All I'm saying is make it make sense. And then she keeps on saying that it's the white man's gaze. All right, so if you know that it's the white man's gaze, why are you so concerned with it? Why don't you focus on the black man's gaze? I'm telling you, man, the hypocrisy of black women, bro, is they're digging their own grave. All right? Now let's move on to what she was saying about when black women find themselves and they start with their black girl magic and girl, you're beautiful and all this other bullshit. Yeah, it's bullshit. Y'all lying to yourselves. You don't even believe what you're saying. You're just telling yourself anything to feel good. You're just propping each other up. This is what women do. They get in their little circles and their little groups and they keep patting each other on the back and keep telling each other they're great and telling each other they're beautiful and telling each other they're wonderful and telling each other, it's like, it's all just hot air. It's not actually doing anything for y'all. Y'all just as insecure as you've always been. And that will be the case until you get under the leadership and the guidance and the love of a strong black man. Until you do that, you are going to be insecure. You're going to be thirsty for attention and validation, and you're not going to love yourself genuinely. That's just what it is, ladies. You ain't got to believe me. Just keep doing what you're doing, because that shit ain't working.
Out because he's the only white guy in the room, and I am probably the only black person that's not of West Indian descent. But you know what? We hightail it straight to the bar, and after the rum starts flowing and flowing, we are all family in that room. And so we go upstairs, and we start dancing, and the reggae is pumping, and guys, it's like a movie. Everything slows down. And he looks at me, and I look at him, and we kiss right there on the dance floor. So yeah, we start hanging out, take that as you will. And after a few months, I start really liking this guy. I mean, he's really smart and funny and talented, and I think that it's mutual once he starts asking me to go to dinner with his family or go hang out with his friends. And after our first big fight, he apologizes by giving me a pair of beautiful earrings. And I'm touched. This is the first time a guy I really like has ever given me a piece of jewelry. And they're beautiful, they're handmade, they're my favorite color of emerald green, but they're in the shape of Africa. And I'm just like, did this white man just give me Africa? It's not weird, it's totally not weird. I mean, but then a few weeks later, I asked him for a t-shirt or something so I could go to sleep. I forgot my pajamas at home. And he says, oh yeah, I got something for you. It's gonna look real sexy. And then he pulls out this big, red, beautiful dashiki. Now for those who don't know what a dashiki is, it's this. It's not weird. It's totally not weird. It's weird, totally weird. So eventually, I confront him about it. And he says like, I don't think it's a problem for white people to be interested in African culture. And like, what, are you like, do you have a problem with your blackness or something? How dare you? And then we just start fighting, and that fighting only gets worse once I found out about the sexy Japanese American activist, or the talented but slightly broken dancer, or the entire South Asian section of women. And I look at all these girls, including the other black girl who's still an undergrad, and I wonder, does he really like me? Or is dating me just another way to get a little bit closer to all black everything? I give my answer. A few months later, we have fought and fought and fought. We're not talking, but I miss him. I miss his face. I miss his dimples. And I go on Facebook just to see his face. And instead of clicking right to see the new pictures, I click left. And I see the old pictures, including a picture of college-aged him with his arms wrapped around a thin, beautiful brown woman, and his hair, thin and beautiful and brown, somehow magically woven into cornrows. And I feel nauseous. And eventually, I have to accept the situation for what it is. Though it's clear that I can be attracted to a white man, that I can have feelings for a white man, I don't know if I could ever really date another white man again. I think a part of me would always wonder. So when it comes to my future relationships, I'm going to make sure that my partners are a different kind of all black everything.
A lot of these channels that talk about divestment, that talk about, you know, fleeing, and you guys probably heard this before, fleeing Blackistan. They don't want to talk about this. They don't want to warn women about these kind of things. They don't want to tell women the truth.
All right, that's it for today, bro. Gave y'all plenty to think about and told the truth as usual, regardless of whose feelings it hurts. Work on yourself. Get what you want. I'm out of here. Peace.